Welcome to another episode of the FitBod Blueprint. As always, Phil and Tyler here with you. How you doing today, man?
Doing pretty good. How are you? How you holding up with your Bucks losing this last weekend?
Man, it was a rough game to watch, but you know what? All these straight years in a row of winning the NFC South, I can't really complain. I sat through so many bad years, so now I just got to hope that my Lightning can stay strong and pull off a nice entry into the playoffs, maybe.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. You got
They
a good
always pull it
chance.
together. They always
Yeah,
pull it together. So, what about you, man? What's new this week?
nothing. Just keep going.
You know what? There's nothing wrong with routines at
Yeah,
all. And that kind of brings us almost perfectly in less than a minute
yeah,
into today's topic of parent guilt versus self care and how taking care of yourself benefits your family. So, sometimes just getting into these routines and finding the right system as a parent with your health, with your fitness goals can be a really big struggle. So it's something that a lot of people can find challenging. So, this is really common, but prioritizing your fitness, it doesn't need to feel like you're doing something selfish or like it's detracting from family time. I mean, self-care isn't selfish, it's essential. Self-love is never selfish love, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So let's first talk, why do fitness and self-care matter? I mean, it matters for everyone, especially parents. Like, I don't know about you, man, but could you imagine not being in shape and chasing around a 4-year-old?
No, I'm in shape chasing a 4-year-old, and I'm still exhausted. So, so I couldn't imagine doing it out of shape.
Right. So whenever you're fit, you have more energy to keep up with your kids, and not just that, but it's going to reduce some long-term health risks. Like a lot of metabolic disease states are completely avoidable with the right diet and exercise routines. I mean, of course, genetics will always play a bit of a role into anything, but if you eat well, you fuel your body, you keep a little bit more muscle, there's going to be a lot of benefits that come from that. It's going to take more to make you tired. You're going to be able to keep up with your kids. Like you're going to be stronger. Suddenly picking up a 30, 40, 50 pound kid, it's not going to be exhausting, and it makes it feel like they're small for a little bit longer as well.
Yes, which we're always trying to recapture, right?
Oh,
That little
100%.
baby phase. Yeah.
100%. So, it's going to keep up with your kids. It's reducing some risks like, type 2 diabetes. It's your diet, it's your exercise habits. You want to make sure that you're keeping up with this sort of stuff. I saw a meme the other day where it was like breaking down all of the ingredients in Nutella, and I just had to stop for a second, and then I saw like the response to it was, "Gee, the chocolatey sugar spread is unhealthy. Who would have thought?" And it's like, yeah, I get it. Like if you're eating a bunch of this
Yeah,
crap, of
but
course,
it's so tasty.
so good, but everything in moderation, right?
Yeah,
So not only is exercise good for the physical health benefit, but there's also mental health. I mean, it's a stress reliever. It allows you to show up and be more patient, be more present. I know, Tyler, this is something that you talk with your clients a lot about is the mental health benefits for exercise.
yeah. I mean, kind of like you mentioned, the stress reliever, the dopamine release that you can get from that, and just a little bit more patience, and really just being able to take that as time to yourself. Like that can be pretty hard to find as, a full-time working parent where there is just, kind of time to yourself, and being able to have 60, 70, 75 minutes, whatever that might be, just to kind of go, turn the brain off or use it as time to, while you're lifting or doing some cardio, have some of that mental journaling, whatever it might be. But, it is such a huge stress relief for yourself and can kind of give you that reset you might need after a day of work or whatever it might be, to come home and be ready to go, to put on your parent face, to put on your spouse face, and that side of you that you want to be, you have to be for your family. So Yeah, I think we've probably said this before on this podcast, but it's almost more selfish to not take care of yourself than going, oh, well, if I'm taking this time away from my family, I'm being selfish. No, like it's kind of the opposite, where if you're not taking that time to work on yourself, whether it be mental, physical, that is more selfish, right? Like you should be taking that time. And we've talked about this on the podcast. You don't need a lot of it, right? Like 3 days, 2 days, and I'm sure we'll kind of go into this, but then family activities, go do stuff as a family.
Yeah.
Our daughter, we just got her a bike with training wheels, right? And so she got that this Christmas. We've been having for January here, amazing weather. Like it's been sunny, but cold. And so it's like, hey, after picking her up from daycare, there's like a little like forest trail that runs through the city that we live in, and we'll go bike there. The fish were spawning there earlier, so she loves to go watch the fish spawn, and she likes to try and go find all the dead fish then. So, we've been having discussions about life and death, right? Like, so, it's, yeah, I know, right? I'm like, you're 4, but hey, here we go. But, it really is just about all of those things of, you're doing it for yourself. You're doing it for your family. It doesn't have to be a lot, but then you can also bring your family into it as well.
100%. And, kids will model what they see. If they see you sitting on a couch playing with your phone or playing with a tablet, well, what do you think they want to do? They want to play with the phone. They want to play with a tablet. If they see, oh, hey, mom and dad ride bikes, they want to ride a bike. If they know, like, hey, we're going out, we've got a greenway trail near us that goes for just miles and miles and miles, and we'll do a section, either just go northbound or southbound to a certain point and then turn around and come back. But do activities, and kids want to be a part of it. They're looking for that inclusion. They are seeking to be a part of something. And there's actually a book that I really love called The Anxious Generation that starts to get into all of this and how screens are really detrimental to the development of children. But before we go off on that side tangent, so anybody interested in that book, 10 out of 10 recommend it will rethink the way that you view electronic devices in your children. But again, if you're the dad that on Sunday you're just glued to the couch and you're watching football all day long, hey, the morning pregame stuff, and then the afternoon, like 1 hour before the game starts stuff, and then you're watching from 1 p.m. till the time you go to bed, like, if you're that dad, what do you think your kids are going to see as, well, that's normal on Sundays? Now, obviously, I'm a football fan myself. I watch a game. If my Bucks and either our Titans or my wife's Eagles are playing, sure, I might watch 2 games, but I'm doing stuff in between. So you stay active, you keep moving. But whenever we show our kids that we prioritize health, it teaches them the value of taking care of themselves. And even if you're somebody listening to this and going, I don't have kids, cool. There's still all these benefits for you that's going to make you a better friend. It's going to make you, if you have your own business, a better boss. It's going to make you, if you have career aspirations, it's going to make you more driven, because again, it's taking more to make you tired. You're going to have an increase in output. You're going to have higher discipline, because the discipline that you learn with prioritizing your health and prioritizing your fitness will spill into other areas. I've got one guy that I worked with a while back that he was a car salesman. That meant Saturdays, and his dealership was open on Sundays. He's there. And whenever he started making priority for this on his day off, and he started prioritizing before getting into the dealership, like, hey, this is what he does. It made him more disciplined. It made him follow through in his CRM. It made him follow through more on setting appointments. It improved every aspect of his life by prioritizing his health, by prioritizing his fitness, boosted his confidence. He lost a little bit of weight, put on more muscle. He looked better. He felt better. And that exuded into his numbers as well. So no matter what, parent, not a parent, heck, if you're a grandparent, still making time for this makes a huge difference. I can tell you the difference of my dad, who lifts weights 4 or 5 days a week and has done so for almost 50 years now. the difference of him versus the other grandpas at the park. So let's start to dive a little bit into that guilt, right? So Tyler, what do you find is the number one thing for why parents say like they feel guilty about spending time on themselves?
I mean, I think, especially nowadays when there's, typically you have two full-time working parents, right? And a lot of your time is going to be spent doing other things. And your time with your kids is already limited. And so the thought, and I mean, your life then is just busy, right? And then the thought of adding whatever, 2-3 hours a week on top of that, where, we kind of talked about it, it can feel selfish, right? Where, you're just like, hey, I'm going to go do this. That's going to be that number one reason, right? Because it just feels like, that could be time spent with your kid, or it could be time cleaning the house or whatever. And so like that's where it's going to come in. And I think too, like every parent can probably relate to this. There is just something inherent that happens when you have a kid that you can't really explain, that if you just feel guilty not spending time with them, right? Like, and there's really almost like no explanation for it. Like, whether it's because you finally maybe understand how quick things go or whatever, like there is just something inherent where you have a kid that maybe it's a biological switch in our evolutionary tree that switches, where whatever time you do have, and if you're not kind of spending it with the kid, there is just this level of guilt. Like, we went out for New Year's with our friends. Quinn went to go spend the night at Grandma and Grandpa's. Like, we were so excited, and I was like, by the time we got to dinner, barely an hour or two, like, I kind of felt guilty, and I was like, I miss her, right? It's just this weird little thing. So I think it just has a lot to do with that kind of stuff.
100%, especially if you're the parent that you've still got like maybe your kids are younger, or just in general, you have like one or two little monitors connected to an app on your phone. Like, you go out and you check on them like constantly. I remember, especially whenever they're young, Nikki and I, our very first date after Ellie was born, like she had the monitor app on her phone and just kept it propped up at the table so we could just look and make sure, like, even though it was my parents watching her, we were like, okay, she's okay. All right. They're in there. Okay. It wasn't forever that she was crying. Like, you do feel that guilt of like, you want to be connected with your child, but the reality is you can't 24/7 be connected with your child.
Yeah.
So spending that time on yourself is nothing to feel guilty about. And especially whenever we think about the counterpoint of, well, what happens when parents neglect their health? Well, you're going to be way more fatigued. You're going to be way more irritable. You're going to potentially increase your risk for chronic health. So the heart attack that you have in your mid or late 50s, that's because you started neglecting your health in your 40s. The stroke that ends up developing because you were neglecting your well-being at some point in your life. Like, the type 2 diabetes that gets developed from constantly taking the easy option and never getting in any movement, that developed because you started taking the easy option because you didn't make time for hard, and now you're on metformin or insulin or a GLP-1 or something.
Yeah.
So
it's a good point, because it's like, it's one of those things where the body is very resilient either way, right? And it's very adaptable. And it's like, it's not a problem till it is, right? And it's like one of those things where, like, maybe it's not a problem for 10 years, 15 years, but all of a sudden it is a problem. And it's like those 10 to 15 years, that was the time where you could have made those choices where it wasn't a problem, right, all of a sudden. And so I think, it's a really good point, because, as humans, we're not good at thinking about long term, and like, not just 5 years, but like we're, 10 years, 15, 20, 30. And so how
it feels
many
so
of those
far away.
Yeah. But how many of those choices now are impacting those 15, 20, 25 years.
No, 100%. Like, again, if you think about 10 years from now, 15 years from now, it feels like it's so far away, but like I'm 35. 15 years ago would have been whenever I was 20. That
50.
feels like that feels like yesterday, but 15 years from now puts me at 50. And it's like, holy crap, 35 is going to feel like it was a blink. And like 20 was still yesterday. Like ask any older relative, whenever they close their eyes and they think about their self, like what age roughly are they thinking of for like their self-image, for the way they see themselves? And they're probably picking somewhere in their 20s or 30s. And then it's like, wait, the reality is, here's Father Time staring me in the face.
Yeah.
So you take the time now to fix the problems that you don't want to have to answer to, versus you wait till it's too late. Like, look at somebody that's recovering from having had a heart attack, or somebody who's recovering. My Mima, God rest her soul, she had 2 strokes. She could have mitigated those risks by eating a little less fried food, by smoking less, by managing her stress better, like all of that. And I remember seeing her recover from both of them. So seeing her go through that and, hey, learning how to hold a fork again, learning how to write again, like all of that could have been circumvented by just taking better care of yourself in your 30s. So, again, it might feel like, oh man, I don't have time for a 30-minute workout. But one thing that I've gotten into doing here lately is helping people with setting up their actual calendar, where it's, all right, you have a morning routine. You don't need to list out everything, but just block it into your digital calendar. We all have a phone on us. This is your morning routine. Okay, when do you need to leave for work? Put that in there. There's your commute time. Okay, now you've got your work time. You've got various tasks you need to accomplish at work. Whenever you're done, then what? So like, yeah, we might need to start blocking this in like any other appointment. But even if you're struggling with finding time, like, look, if you are somebody that you've got kids that you need to get them physically to school, try waking up a little bit earlier. Like, I'm not advocating to sleep deprive yourself, but wake up earlier once to stop the chain. Wake up earlier once. Yes, you're going to be tired. Pro tip, put your phone on the charger in your bathroom so that whenever the alarm goes off in the morning, you have to get out of bed to turn it off. And pick the most irritating ringtone you possibly can.
Wake up angry.
It gets me out of bed.
Yeah.
I get up. I don't want to hear that tone anymore. I turn it off, and by the time I walk to the bathroom, I'm up. All right, pee, brush my teeth, pop on the scale real quick, get my glasses on, put on some clothes, go downstairs, and hey, do a quick 25-minute workout. Like, do a little 5-minute mobility work, and then do like a 25-minute workout, come back upstairs, get a shower. Yes, all of this takes collectively 45 additional minutes, but you know what it'll do? It'll make you tired 45 minutes earlier that night. So just go to bed a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
Quit watching the reruns of crap on a streaming service. Put the TV down, put the phone down, start setting times that you're done with digital devices at a set time. And now just go to bed earlier. Yeah. So yes, block it out. Or if you've got young kids, utilize nap time. Like, I mean, does Quinn still nap?
Unfortunate though. She stopped napping at like 3.
Yeah, Jesse was about the same. He became like 50. We were very fortunate. Ellie napped until 5.
Missed those.
That.
Yeah.
But like, you think about kids having younger kids having an hour-long nap, like 2 or 3 times throughout the day, depending on how old they are. And like, man, those were like clutch moments. I'm not saying you got to spend every single one of your kids' naps getting in a workout, because if they're really young, that's a good way to end up potentially training like it's your full-time job doing 8 hours. But like, hey, use one of those naps where you're like, okay, they're down and they're out for the count. Use one of those naps for your workouts. And again, it doesn't have to be every day, but even just 30 minutes 3 times a week, it adds up.
Yeah. Yep. And again, it's just it's a simple way of going about it. And like, Like I just saw, like, and you also like, this is where maybe look at investing in some home equipment. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. Like, like you could probably spend $3,000 total and have a decent setup, right? You could have some adjustable dumbbells. You could have an adjustable bench. You could have some resistance bands. You can get a Swiss ball, a med ball, a kettlebell. Like, there's a
Right.
lot you can do for not a lot of money. You can get a little 30-minute circuit in. Maybe you go to the gym, get an actual strength workout twice a week, but then maybe you have some stuff at home where you can get a 30-minute circuit in, and that's your little bit of cardio for the week.
Right. And like, don't be afraid to buy used either. And I can go on a whole
Yeah.
tangent about building out your own gym. I've done 3 different versions for myself. I've helped many clients with it. But like, go on Facebook Marketplace, and like, I just typed in functional trainer, and I just found a functional trainer for $800. That
Yeah.
it has 200-pound stacks of weights, $800. Like, I know that's not a small amount of money, but you get that. You spend $150 on 1,000-pound capacity bench on Amazon. New Obel adjustable dumbbells go from 5 pounds to 80 pounds, and it's like $700 for the pair shipped
Yeah.
to your front door. Like, there for about $1,500, a little less than $2,000 US, you've got a home gym.
And
You're
then,
not going to
and
be able to, you're not going to be
yeah.
able to do every single thing, but with a functional trainer with 2 dumbbells that go up to a healthy amount of weight each, like bench pressing 80 pounds in each hand, you got to be a strong dude to do that.
Yeah. 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 And I mean, you think about it, like, if you think about a gym membership, you're probably spending that over the course of 2 years, maybe 3 years, depending on, where you do go. I mean, certainly there are some gyms like Planet Fitness that are quite cheap, but then you think about, depending on how far away, the drive time, any other fees you might have to pay, like, so like really, if that's right there for you and you're spending, $2,000, you're probably saving money in the long run with getting something like that. And then if you have the space, now you have the option to maybe build it out a little bit more over years and getting a squat rack eventually, or another cable machine or a leg press or things like that. But once you have the basics, you can pretty much not add any more to that unless you get a really strong and you just need heavier dumbbells.
Right. So that's the great thing about fitness is there's so many different ways to go about it. There's so many different setups that you can have. I mean, even just a 10 to 20 pound medicine ball, like there's a lot that you can do with just that, between that, some body weight stuff, some resistance bands, like for less than $100, you could have 1 or 2 medicine balls. You could have a whole thing of resistance bands. And personally, I like the kinds with the clips where you can clip a handle onto the end, because you can stack multiple bands onto one set of handles. So now if you've got one band that's 50 pounds of resistance, another one that's 30, well, now you have 80 pounds whenever you clip them both onto the same sets of handles. Like, you can add a lot of weight, and like, go ahead and try to shoulder press that. The resistance profile is different than what 80 pounds on a bar feels like going overhead. Whenever it goes from like, it's okay, to suddenly you're getting overhead and your arms aren't even locked down. It's like, this is getting more challenging as you're moving through the movement. It's a different resistance curve. So again, you can make the time for this, again, like a 30-minute workout, it's really not that much. So block it into your schedule wherever it sees fit. Or like another idea that we kind of touched on earlier is involve the family. Like whenever Quinn's riding that bike, like you're trying to keep up with her on foot, or you're riding with her, right? Like that's a jog.
Yeah. And then sometimes I'm having to carry the bike back because she's too tired to bike back. So then I'm adding, 10 pounds. And then sometimes I'm also having to have the bike and carry her, because guess what? We're now not walking.
Yeah.
Although it's something we're working on that. We are working on, hey, like we bike out, you're biking back. Like that is the expectation. But yeah, like it's adding steps. And I mean, for those who also have maybe don't have kids that have never done this, a typical 10-minute walk all of a sudden now takes 30 minutes. So you're just standing more, or you're just kind of moving around a little bit more. And so just by default, you do end up getting a little bit more activity.
No, and again, like, involve the kids. One of the drills that I have for a lot of my parents with any type of school age children is just go for a 10-minute walk whenever you get home. And especially like if you've got multiple kids, this can be really good because you can alternate days of the week. So I've already got this system going with Ellie and Jesse where these days of the week, like so basically it's Monday and Wednesday. It's, I gotta look at my calendar now, but it's like Monday and Wednesday might be Ellie.
One of them.
Tuesday and Thursday might be Jesse. Just depends on what my schedule looks like. And if I miss one, then the kid that I missed, I do the next day. And then usually Fridays, it's like, hey, let's, all three of us, or, if Nikki's off, like, let's all four of us go for a walk, or pack up the bikes in the Jeep and let's go to the Greenway. Like, there's so many ways that you can involve the family in what it is that you're doing for physical activity. I mean, we'll bring a football to the Greenway and just throw a football. Hey, two kids trying to tackle dad. It gets their energy out.
Yeah.
And now I'm also like, let me try to evade you. And then suddenly I put a spin move on them.
Yeah. Primetime Barry Sanders, baby.
Well, it takes everything in me to not go primetime Marshawn Lynch or Mike Allstott. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, let's truck into them. Wait, they're my kid. I can't do that.
That New Orleans, when they were playing the New Orleans, that one run. Oh, yeah. I remember watching that on TV that day.
The birth of beast mode.
Yeah.
But like, grab a basketball, shoot some hoops with your kids, practice some dribbling stuff, practice some footwork. Like, I still have my in and out ladder from whenever I was a mobile personal trainer. Like, hey, let's do a game, like, run forward, run over, back. Like, you just kind of do a zigzag like that, or you do, one in, one out. Like, you do stuff like that. And again, this agility ladder, it's like $10 on Amazon. Like,
yeah,
you get that, you get a football, you get a basketball. Even if lifting weights isn't necessarily your thing, it can really be beneficial, and it can still be something that gets you moving. If your kids play sports or might be interested in sports, it develops their skills as well in it. So another idea with involving your kids. So I have held a subscription to DDP Yoga or DDPY, or way back in its original inception, it was called YRG, Yoga for Regular Guys, where it's incorporating some yoga with some calisthenics. And the nice thing is it's literally an app on your phone.
Yeah.
And if I'm having a really busy day, or like, hey, it's super cold outside, or it's really rainy, like, fire that up. You can literally do it in your living room, and your kids see you doing it. If they do not start doing what you're doing, it would be the first time I've heard of that. Yeah. So you get them involved, and like, you start high-fiving them whenever the people in the app or in the video are high-fiving each other or saying good job. Like, now it starts to build that sense of like, oh, hey, I do this with mom, I do this with dad. It starts to build that community, and it deepens and further develops the family bond.
Yeah. Yeah. Or they're just climbing all over you, and then you're trying to do yoga with an extra 30 pounds. I mean, it's a win-win situation.
Absolutely.
It's like putting a weight vest on, but now it's also challenging your balance.
Right. It's a dynamic weight vest that's constantly moving and shifting your center of balance. Like, there you go, baby. You're working.
Yeah. Talk about functional training.
Yeah. Yeah. You could also try to arrange for childcare, like whether that's with your spouse, with a friend, or just finding a college age babysitter that just, hey, can you come for 2 hours on these days per week? Like, pop over on care.com. Everyone's got a background check ran. That was how we found our person. And now it's, hey, while we're gone, just don't burn the house down and keep the kid alive for a little bit.
Yeah.
You find somebody that they have a genuine heart for this, and you interview them. But that could be another option if it fits into your budget of, all right, I've got Jane who comes Monday, Thursday, and Saturday morning for 2 hours. Well, look, is it the most cost-effective thing? No, but if you don't want your kid in the gym at or in the childcare section at your gym because whatever reason, or if your gym just doesn't offer it, that gets you plenty of time. That, let's say it takes you 15 minutes to drive to the gym. Let's say it's about, an hour worth of, you're in the gym, you're working out, maybe an hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes. You still have another 15-minute drive back home.
Yeah.
You now have another up to 30 minutes from the time you get home to go get a shower and go feel human, and not just like a quick parent shower where it's like, okay, bits and bits, but you're actually going through and like, all right, whenever I'm done, I'm going to trim my beard, or I'm going to, if you're, I'm going to shave, or I'm going to do whatever. Like, you can get some damn grooming in. Like, now you feel good about it. It's not that rushed shower. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah. I like the bits.
I got that one from my papa. So I'm over here going full country bumpkin. Me, mom, my papa. Man, I miss the two of them. But look, start small. Even if it's just like, hey, 30 minutes, 2-3 times a week, doing something while the kids are napping, or, hey, I'm going to wake up early on Monday and Thursday to get in some movement, go to the gym on Saturday just whenever I wake up. Like, start small, because every time that you do the habit that gets you to the person that you want to be in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, every time that you do the actions today that reinforce the building of that character, you're getting more and more of that identity of, I am somebody who takes care of myself. I am somebody who watches what they eat. I am somebody who is an attentive parent. I am somebody who is a loving spouse. I am someone who values myself showing up as the best version of myself, not being irritable, not being riddled with a bunch of preventable health problems. Yeah. So just focus on that consistency above all else with it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, I'll usually use, this saying in terms of when I'm talking with a client and they have like a little ache or, a nagging something. And it's like, all right, hey, let's back off now. The best ability is being available, right? And I think it can kind of apply here of just being ultimately the best version of yourself available for whatever it might be. Your job, your spouse, your kids, yourself, right? And taking that time to work on your fitness is going to be part of that. It's going to give you that best ability of being available because of all of those positive benefits. Like I tell people, I'm like, this is the literal fountain of youth that people are always like looking for, and the quick fix and this pill, this, that. And it's like, no, like this is literally it. 3-4 times a week, do something. Try and, 5,000 steps a day on average, right? Kind of a minimum, if you will. Boom, right there. Watch what you eat. Like, I mean, yes, there's nuance to that, and there's more to it, but in a nutshell, that's the literal fountain of youth. Like, we have data backing that up in terms of quality and quantity of life.
Absolutely. So again, even just scheduling a few minutes of fitness for yourself, it's going to do so many positive things for you. So the number one thing we can just say is, look, we can't do this for you. You are the one that has to be the hero of your own story. There's nobody that's going to wave a magic wand. There's no genie that's going to pop out of a magic lamp. You're not going to suddenly wake up and all of the last 15 years were just a dream. If you're hearing any of this and going, oh yeah, my doctor did say my A1C was starting to get into the pre-diabetic territory at my checkup last year, start doing something now to fix it. Yeah. If you realize like your back is constantly hurting, you're constantly on the twinge of hurting your back, if you're not getting in a lot of movement, it's because you're not getting in movement, because your back is constantly probably sitting at a desk all day long. You're not promoting any blood flow. You're not getting in any movement. You're starting to create that back pain that you're experiencing today, that it always feels like, man, there's something that's about to be debilitating if I just move the wrong way. That started 5 years ago. So before it gets worse and you are 5 years from now praying that you're where you're at today, start doing something now, because I can guarantee you this. No matter where your health is at now, if you don't change some of the stuff that is leading you down a bad path, whenever you are 70 years old and you're old and you have all these pills that you're taking and you have all these aches and all these pains, if something came to you and said, hey, if I could snap my fingers right now and take you back to you at 30, you at 35, you at 40, you're going to take that deal as long as you keep all the knowledge, and you're going to go, I was such a fool to not make the changes that I know I needed to make. And again, we got to make sure that a lot of it starts with in that busy period of life, and whenever most people are either having kids or their kids are growing up, you got to break that guilt. You got to start taking that self-care. So let's end with a random question from Phil. Tyler.
People, these are random. We do not go over these before we hop on. So I never know what he's actually going to ask me. Just want to actually throw that out there.
All right. Tyler, you are in a bar filled with bad guys.
Okay.
There's 15 of them that they're going to attack you, and you get to pick one movie character out of all of cinema to defend you and to help you out in this epic bar fight. Who are you picking?
Oh man, that's a tough one. 15 guys.
So you got to pick somebody tough who knows what they're doing.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't want to cheat and go, I'll pick Superman. Like, I gotta feel like, that's cheating. I feel like you can't pick a superhero almost, right? Like,
right.
Just like a normal guy, right? Like almost like, John Wayne, right? I feel like that would be a good one.
Like John Wick.
John Wick, yeah. Doc Holliday.
Neeson from Taken. Oh, hey, Doc, I'm your Huckleberry.
Just so I could hear him say that. Liam Neeson from Taken, yes. Those are all good ones. Jason Statham from have you seen like the Crank movies? Yeah. Or the Beekeeper movie. That was a really good one. Jason Statham. You know what? I'm going to go Jason Statham. Ooh, I just thought of Matt Damon and Jason Bourne.
Jason Bourne.
Yeah. Let's go Jason Bourne.
That is a really, really great pick.
Yeah.
Like that's up there.
How about you?
I think, okay, for me, so obviously I was giving this some thought. 15 guys. I initially said John Wick, but then I'm thinking like, okay, Wick's obviously, total badass.
Yeah.
There's also going to be like that gun element. So I think for me, if I'm going to go with like one character that like, hey, 15 bad guys, right? I got to go with Ivan Drago from Rocky 4. Like, he's big, he's tough, he's got size, like he can throw some people. He's got that punch that like it broke the machine in Rocky 4. So like I think I got to go Ivan Drago here with
Nice. Good call. You can never go wrong with a boxer like that.
No. I mean, and then of course now like you're saying Jason Bourne, and I'm like, man, Jason Bourne fought Ivan Drago. I'd put my money on Bourne. So I think you made the better pick here.
Easily Jason Bourne.
Or you could go with Matt Damon from Good Will Hunting. He's going to solve the math problem.
Yeah. He got into a pretty good fight in that movie too.
He did.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. You know what? That brings me another idea, just kind of tying along, like, maybe Robin Williams from Flubber, because he would have Flubber on him to repel all punches.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah. R.I.P., baby.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you all very much. As always, feel free to reach out to us on any of our socials, Instagram, pop on over to FitBodInstitute.com. Let's get connected. Let's get you on the right path to accomplish all of your goals. And we will catch you all next time. See ya.